Okay, call the meeting to order. So, this isn't actually a hearing, so we're not reopening it, so we'll just continue the review.
It's just discussion for closeout, so.
Okay. So this will be our discussion for closeout. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. Yeah, first of all, thank you for making the adjustment from last Thursday to this Thursday. I couldn't make it, and it's one of those things that, what we're trying to do is close this out. Essentially, we've done everything to get to the point where the bond is almost zero. We're still working on the telemetry system. There's the difference of 3G versus 4G that I've been hearing, so they're getting it. We're not quite there yet, so ultimately what our goal is to get the road accepted, and backing into it, you know, we really need to get, you know, maybe this meeting or the January meeting with the ZBA, everything finalized, so then we can go to the selectmen, and then we can go and have them officially put it on the town warrant for the spring. And I believe, Steve, I think, don't they close that in March or something, the warrant?
I believe yes. Steve Roto Lake is the law firm of Fletcher Tilton for the applicant. I was represented John during this process when he got his 40B approval. It was a lip, so actually the town was the co-applicant with John for the redevelopment of this site, which was a failed over 55 project off of Leland Hill Road. So at this point, John's only got one market rate unit left. All the affordables have been sold. He's in the process of working with the DHCD and its auditor to get the post-project audit complete, so they can certify that John has or has not exceeded the 20% profitability ceiling. So again, just reiterating what John said, we're working on a closeout, and we just wanted to be in front of the board moving forward, not only for the bond, but just for the project closeout.
Sure.
Keep the town happy.
Sure, and stay on track for the acceptance of the road.
Right.
So I think John Kuchar had sent me an email on Monday with, well, there's maybe a total of 15 items on here. I don't know if we want to go on that. It was basically, it's not the final list, if you will, but it was somewhat of such a thing as a semi-final list with some other things that, you know, have come up over the last few days that I've inundated Lynn with documents, I think, to try and get them. And there were, you know, so I don't know do we go through this, John, or are you comfortable with some of the things that are done?
What I'm going to suggest, is that the board would make a motion and accept it this way, to accept the documents and to allow staff, meaning myself, Lynn, Jen Hager, to accept the paperwork, to vet it out, to go through it. The majority of you guys weren't here from the beginning of it. It's kind of complex. Not that you couldn't do it, but to expect you to do it here is really kind of awkward. And so what I would suggest is a motion to allow staff to vet through this stuff, and we'll come back in January, and we'll present our findings of fact that what we found, and hopefully I think everything should be sewn up by then. And you could also designate one of your members to work with us, or to be kind of a liaison. And that's what I would suggest.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to ask the staff, including building, planning, and other department heads, to review the documents that John has submitted, make sure we have everything, that it's complete, and ask, so in addition to the motion, I'll ask for a board designee to work with the staff, representative of the board, and make sure that everything is complete as we gear up for the January meeting.
One question first. The list of the 15 items or whatever, where did that come from?
I generated it.
Okay, so you went through the original and kind of said this is,
There's a bunch of small loose ends, and this would happen at the end of any subdivision. Okay, you need this, you need that. And it was more of a matter of practicality, so they could get to this point.
And was that more than the items that were on the last, when they were here last time? Is that different than those items? Like, oh, I think one was like a pump system, something about there was trees on there, there was.
Yeah, the trees are done. You know, it's, I don't know, it's total what? Is it 15, 16, 17 issues? What we did is we had a departmental meeting with the sewer, the highway, planning, us. What are your issues? What are your outstanding issues? Put them all together, because I didn't want to run them around either. They come before us, oh yeah, by the way, you have this to do or that to do. Because the goal is to hopefully be able to have this set up so that they can bring the road to town meeting in the spring. And, so that was the purpose of it.
Very comprehensive
Great.
list.
The only comment I would have to that motion, I guess I'd defer to Steve, is, do we need to add town council to that? Because I think town council has to review a few of the documents.
That would be included in that
Yeah, I think it's within,
Okay.
purview.
within the scope of the motion that, obviously, if something, has to go to town council, that, staff can delegate that if it's reflected in the decision.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll entertain such motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. You may make the motion if you
Oh,
like.
I thought you mean, sorry. Make a motion to ask building, planning, town council, and other department heads to vet this list on our behalf and seek a representative from the board to act as liaison.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, who wants to draw the short straw?
Yeah.
I have days open, it would be easiest for me to,
Yeah,
you know.
okay. It's just basically if we run into a snafu, we're just kind of, I think we're gonna be all right, but just so a member of the board is brought up to,
No problem.
And
So-
John lives in town, just, again, Steve Rotalakis for the applicant. John lives in town, he's, also the developer of the villas at Pleasant Valley, so he's around, so.
Okay. Based on your viewing the list, do you think that within the time frame of the next meeting, we can address the majority of these items?
Without the list in front of me, I believe there's only one open item on that now, and
Okay.
that's the telemetry system. There were little things, the hydrant was repaired last Friday. There was little things like the propane tank was down to 10%. We filled that. I sent Lynn the receipt. And just to expand on the hydrant, it was a hit-and-run commercial vehicle that had nothing to do with us, and it was involving the local police, so I had to wait for that process to take place, and we.
Did they find the hydrant?
It's interesting, the hydrant was crushed and it was there, and we were going to repair the hydrant, they got the parts, and they showed up the Monday after Thanksgiving to repair it, and somebody stole the hydrant over the
the new
weekend.
one.
I told John it's in somebody's man town somewhere in this town.
exactly
Somebody's got it in their basement.
That's not light, that's pretty heavy,
Right.
that'll take 2 guys. Even with
I
some
keep my
octane
eyes
in it.
out with these basement inspections.
That's what I think it is.
Be warned, people.
At that point, we just said, let's just get a new one, so that delayed it a little bit. But, to answer your question, yes, they're all, like we had to do some special type of perimeter drains down there because there was no gravity to do it, and John wanted us to put those on the as-built plans, and even today we found out that it was recorded back in 2013, I think, Lynn, somewhere around there.
It was probably, you had actually
Yeah.
been in front of the board.
So, it was just tying up those loose ends, and it was John's way of giving me a heads up that he met with everybody, and here's some of the items, and, there were a couple other things on the sewer, but they were missing a few manholes. We found the manholes, and so, yeah, I think there may only be one open item on there, that's the telemetry system.
I have to get the conservation restriction, I have to work with Jen to get the conservation restriction, because there's been a change in conservation restrictions, so I'll work with Jen Hager, she's kinda taking the lead. I'll deal with town council about the homeowners association,
Okay.
and I think we're almost there.
I think the other major item on the list, Steve, was the as-built for Wilkes Water, right? Is that what you said
I
the
had
other day?
received an email today, one of the issues was a hydrant, which we know. She said that needed to be fixed, but also she said that she was waiting for as-bills from you, but she would be in contact with
She
you.
did, she sent Stephanie an email today, and the long story short is that they actually do it themselves. They come out and they take what they call the ties, exactly where they are. But if they want us, they'll just give us that information, because they go out there in the wintertime under snow, and if they have to shut it off, they have to know where it is. We'll just put them on the as-built plan. We got it around 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon, so if it need be, we would just modify these. I'll get the info from them and have them put on the plan.
This is primarily why we wanted to have staff vet it out, because there's little hiccups till we get it done.
They use RH White to do all their connections. RH White coincidentally is a client of my firm, so I can make a call and to try to expedite John's receipt of the information.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do.
Right.
Okay. Do we need to formally, the board appoint Mr. Maron as the?
No,
Okay.
he's your
The
designee.
designee.
We're all gonna vote on it
He is.
next meeting anyway, right? I mean, really, it's just making sure that we've got everything
Yep.
prepared to go through. You know,
Okay.
the board will have the benefit of all the information to take a look at if there's anything that comes up that's material, so.
Okay. So we voted on the recommendation and
I
So the
guess-
next meeting,
is
would be-
going,
we discussed it
going to
would
be
be
January 10th at 7 p.m.
o'clock.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
That helps a lot, also having it on the 10th.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Versus the 3rd?
Yes, yeah. That helps me.
Me too.
That helps Steve.
That's what we're here for.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Anything else
Mr.
on the agenda?
Rotalakis, how's your son doing? I understand he had an operation.
They're not done.
Well,
What's that?
he had an operation
No other applicants
yesterday
that day yet, though?
Nothing.
where
The
he
winter,
got
yeah.
screws
Oh,
removed
might
from
be
his
another quick
ankle.
one.
He had the main
I don't mind that.
part of the operation was,
We're gonna close the meeting.
oh,
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'll entertain a motion to close this meeting.
Make a motion to close the meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.